Welcome to Duke Devil 95. My name is Brad Burnett. We're going once again, back to a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away, for the second episode of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. This episode of the adventures of Mando and Grogu in space is entitled Chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore. If you don't know where that in space reference is coming from, maybe you ought to go back and watch some old Muppet shows. Anyway, so we open up on a planet that I think none of y'all have ever heard of before. It's called Tatooine. So if there is a bright center of the universe, Tatooine is a planet that's farthest from. Yes, I made that up myself. Why do we always go back to Tatooine? Anyway, so we're on Tatooine, and we got, I think her name is Pelly. It's the mechanic who's Amy Sedaris, and apparently she's running a scam with Jawas where they steal parts off people's speeders, and they come in and ask her to fix them, and she says okay, and then she fixes them with the parts her partner stole. Okay, legit, it's a good scam, which, back in my day, I could have, put people in jail for, but whatever. She's talking with her Jawas, and guess what shows up? Oh my goodness, it's this beautiful silver N1 Naboo starfighter, the perfect vessel for any bounty hunter who wants to transport any bounties he collects, because it fits one pilot and a droid socket that also fits a baby Grogu. Anyway, again, Grogu appears, and Amy Sedaris is so excited to see Grogu again as he does a force flip out. That is the most significant skill he learned apparently from Luke while studying with him. Why is Mando there? Mando's looking for a part to fulfill his side quest from last episode. That side quest is to get a memory unit for IG-11. Amy Sedaris says, I don't got any. The Jawas don't got any. Why do you want this IG-11? I need him to go spelunking. I need him to go find the living waters and the mines of Mandalore. She's like, well, I don't got that, but you know what? I got an astromech. This is R5-D4. Do you know who R5-D4 is? R5-D4 legitimately is the hero of the rebellion. The rebellion would not have succeeded. Emperor Palpatine would not have been defeated without the fact that R5-D4 had a bad motivator unit, because Uncle Owen selected R5-D4 over R2-D2, knew he's buying C-3PO and R2-D2 from the Jawas on Tatooine. If R5-D4 had worked properly, R2-D2 would have gone off with Jawas. We would have never gotten the message from Leia. Luke would have never gone off to meet Obi-Wan, and the whole universe would still be under the oppression of Emperor Palpatine. So the true hero of the rebellion is back, R5-D4, and he's a freaking coward. He doesn't want to go with Mando. Damn, blame him. Adventures kind of sucked. But anyway, he gets sold to Mando, and now they're off. So Mando takes off. Grogu's in the cockpit with him. R5-D4's in the back. We got all these beautiful fireworks. Why? Because it's the Bantu Eve celebration. Bantu Eve, go back to Phantom Menace. Member Berry. Anakin won the pod race then, and things were great for him after that. Yeah, really. Really great for Anakin Skywalker after that. Mando arrives on Mandalore. He's showing Grogu what it all looks like, explaining how to navigate. They finally get under the cloud cover that was caused by the fusion bombing, and they discover they can't communicate off planet because of all the bombs. The planet's been pretty much ravaged, but they find a location to get to the mines of Mandalore. Send out R5-D4 to do atmospheric readings, because apparently in the Star Wars universe, they can't do it themselves. Sensors don't work, and they don't have tricorders. So R5-D4 goes down into a cave, and lo and behold, oh no, we lost the signal. What are we going to do, Mando? Of course, we're going to go out on our own. So Mando seals his helmet, locks Grogu back in the ship, and goes underground. Starts looking around. He starts seeing the ruins of the cities of Mandalore. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Freaking Molochs attack. Well, I don't know if they're Molochs, but that's what they look like to me. Like Molochs on the time machine. Start beating on him. He tries shooting him. It doesn't work. So what does he do? Time to go kind of Jedi and pulls out the dark saber. And he can't wield this for crap. It's heavy on him. He can't wield it. And I'm trying to remember what the hell is that about? Because I remember Han Solo grabbing a lightsaber and slicing open a tauntaun pretty easily to stuff Luke in during Empire Strikes Back. So I legitimately had to ask myself, what is going on with this? And I finally found a solution. Doesn't mean it's a good solution, but it's a solution. So we got to go back to Rebels. And this is in season 3 of Rebels, Trials of the Darksaber. Sabine Wren is trying to wield the Darksaber, and she says it's heavier than she thought. And Kanan says, energy flows through the crystal. You're not fighting with a simple blade as much as you are directing a current of power. Your thoughts, your actions have become energy. They flow through the crystal as well, and they become part of the blade. So somehow, I'm guessing the Darksaber is interpreting or feeling the emotions of the wielder, which I guess means Din Djarin is weighed down with personal issues. Okay, whatever. Yeah, we know he's got issues. He feels abandoned by his clan. Regardless, he's able to dispatch the Mohawks. He finds R5D4. All right, you get back to the ship. So what does Din do? He goes back to the ship, and guess what he finds out? The planet isn't poisoned. He can breathe. Now he goes back. He and Grogu go back into the caves. They start searching around. They dive down deep into the planet, into the mines area. And what do they find? Well, Din finds what looks like a Mandalorian helmet. Picks it up. And holy crap, it's a trap. Oh my God. Some giant trap just enveloped him. What is going on? Grogu, of course, is safe off in his little, pod. But Mando is now trapped by what appears to be a giant spider droid, which carries him off. For what reason, we don't know. Why is a spider droid on Mandalore? We don't know. We now see Din trapped in the cage, and the spider droid is actually a mech for another droid. So there's a droid in the droid. So the droid is operating a droid, and there's a giant eye that's looking at everything. I don't know why he's doing this. It's not clear, but Grogu tries to free him using the Force, but he's not able to, and he gets seen by the droid. So Grogu runs off, takes off in his little pod, jumps away, eventually escapes, but not before Mando says, go get Bo-Katan. So Grogu runs all the way back, being chased by apparently nothing. He gets snapped at by a creature, gets back to the N1 starfighter, which is, of course, the best vehicle for any, not just Mandalorian, but any bounty hunter, because you can put all your bounty in that giant ship, and they take off, going to find Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is still being all melancholy and morose in her Mandalorian castle. No one else is there. She's just sitting on her throne. I don't know, why is she just sitting on... You don't do anything else? You don't have anything. Could you at least get like a Star Wars version of an iPad and play Angry Birds or some damn thing? I don't know. What's going on? So anyway, the N1 starfighter shows up. She goes outside and is like, Din Djarin, what the hell are you doing back here? And then suddenly she realizes, it's not Din Djarin. It's Grogu. Oh no, something's wrong. So what does she do? She gets in her starship. It's time to take off back to Mandalore. All right, so Bo-Katan, Grogu, and R5D4, they're flying on our ship, breaking through the atmospheric cover from the fusion bombs, and now they're back looking down onto the ruined cities of Mandalore. You can see she's looking around saying, oh, wait, this used to be my home. I used to live here. It was much prettier. Yeah, sure. It was always much prettier. Till the Empire bombed it, but also the Mandalorians destroyed it. Look, Mandalorians don't have a great track record among their own people. All right, so now everyone's heading down into the caves. Bo-Katan, R5-D4 stays on the ship. Grogu's taking point because he's got to show Bo-Katan where everyone is. She looks down on the city, again says, we ruled here once. This was beautiful. It's not a great way to convince people that you should be their leader when you look back on your civilization, when you were leading it, and it's a freaking Iraq. Just my opinion. Bo-Katan, Grogu dive down deep into the mines. They get to the bottom. Grogu, for some reason, is acting like very scared, even though he's already here. And Bo-Katan's like, come on, you got to show me where to find him. Okay, let's go. So we get to the area, and before they get there, there's an encounter with the Mohawks. Bo-Katan apparently takes care of them pretty easily. Actually, much easier than Mando does. So I guess Mando's not the best warrior there is. Legitimately, you go back to Rebels, Bo-Katan was a good warrior. She knew how to fight. Makes you wonder about Mando's actual skills. She gets past the creatures, which are called Alabites. I guess they were scavengers that lived on the surface. And now we see back in the droid's little hangout, he's apparently draining fluids from Mando. Why is he doing this? There's no reason for this. There's no explanation either. We see him stick a bunch of tubes in him and just start draining them. Why? Is there going to be an explanation? I hope there's an explanation. And he's actually sucking out a lot of fluid pretty fast. So Bo-Katan better show up quick here. Oh, wait, she does. Okay, great. Now droid fight. Oh, no. She's getting taken out, but thank God she finds the Darksaber. And guess what? Bo-Katan knows how to wield it. That's right. You know what? She's wielded it before, and she understands it. Mando doesn't. I guess in the sense of Mando's conflicted in his feelings and that it's affecting how he can use the sword, that makes sense. But all it makes it look like is Bo-Katan is a better warrior than Mando. And legitimately, look, you go back and watch Rebels. I have no problem with Bo-Katan being a great warrior. That's how she was portrayed. That's fine. But in The Mandalorian, he should at least have some ability here. It just looks sad and pathetic, especially when he's caught up in a cage being drained of all his fluids while she's gutting this droid the way Obi-Wan did General Grievous. All right. So she gets him free. They get out, and he's like, I still got to go to the mines. I got to get to the water. He gets a little bit healed up. He gets some soup from Bo-Katan, supposedly to help replenish him, which apparently all Mandalorians know except for him. Why does he know? Because he's a child of the Watch, which is an extremist cult from the Mandalorians who normally rule Mandalore. I feel like it's becoming more complicated than it should. Whatever, it is what it is. So he's convinced he's got to go to these waters. He goes to the waters. Bo-Katan shows him, hey, here are the waters. Been here before myself. We go bathe in them. It's a ritual. Doesn't mean much, but I'm part of the royal family, so everyone feels good. It's just ritual. There's nothing magical about it. And that's the point she's trying to make. There's no magic here. You're not going to find some perfect cure. He still, of course, is of the mindset that this is what he needs to do to prove himself to his people. So what does he do? What any sensible person, Mandalorian or anyone else would do. You're going to walk into water to cleanse your sins. Be baptized. Be born anew. He takes off his weapons. He takes off his cape. He takes off his darksaber. But what does he leave on? Every freaking piece of armor. You know what doesn't help buoyancy in water? Freaking armor. He walks in, and the next thing you know, oh my God, what just happened? He fell under the water. Did something grab him? No, he walked off a freaking cliff. He literally walked off a cliff in the water. He doesn't have a jetpack. He's sinking into the water, going straight to the bottom. Bo-Katan jumps in with her jetpack on. Now, mind you, she's going down with her jetpack. She's not catching up to him. She's got a jetpack powering her down at full force while he's just being weighed down by his armor. You know, I did not study science in college after a certain point, but I kind of think if you have thrust behind you, as opposed to just sinking by natural weight, the thrust would catch you up. I guess it doesn't work that way. Anyway, she finds him at the bottom of the living waters. She grabs him, starts pulling him up, and as she's going up, she sees something. What is it? What is this beast? It's a beast. It's a giant beast. It's the beast we talked about, the mythosaur. The mythosaur lives under the living waters of Mandalore. This is part of the mythology. She thought it was a bunch of bunk, but it's there. It looks at her, does nothing, she flies away, jumps up, gets out of the water, throws Mando on the ground. Grogu's like, oh my goodness, what happened? And we're all left stunned. It's like, what just happened? Did we see a mythosaur? Are the rumors true? Okay. So where am I on this episode as opposed to the first? Well, for me, it's a little better than the first because I feel like there's a little more progression here as to the story. But some stupid shit. He went with an astromech droid, which is designed to navigate starships and not explore planets, as opposed to IG-11. He completely abandoned his first side quest. Find the memory unit, gone. So I guess he's not getting points on that on the RPG. He adopts a new quest, which is take R5-D4 down to the mines when R5-D4 goes missing. New side quest, find R5-D4. All right, so that one's accomplished. We battle some Molochs down below. Bo-Katan shows up. And something that actually came up when I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this. This whole thing is the planet cursed or not? She's like, wait, what did Bo say? Did she say it's cursed? Did she say it's not cursed? It's actually kind of confusing in a way. It's poisoned. You can't go there. That sounds like it's cursed. And I just feel there's a disconnect in the writing here. Like the writers of this episode and the first episode are not really communicating. Again, there are some interesting things. Going back to some Star Wars lore. The Darksaber stuff is interesting. I'm not certain I buy I'm going to call it the emoticon Kyber crystal, which senses your emotions. But that was pre-established in Rebels, so you can work through here. The mythosaur, again, that's been established before. That's fine. I did like seeing Mandalore. I've wondered a lot about Mandalore. I wondered, when did the purge actually occur? That to me is significant, and I really wish I would address that, because just from my perspective as someone who likes original Star Wars lore, did Mandalore get wiped out before or after the Death Star? For me personally, I think it would make strategic sense for the Empire to wipe out Mandalore after the Death Star was destroyed, because the Death Star being destroyed is a significant strategic defeat. Therefore, they have to see the Mandalorians as a potential threat against them, and to show the galaxy that they still have significant power, they have to wipe out the most significant threat against them to their power. That would be the Mandalorians as the greatest warriors, even though they can't defeat a space croc alligator in the last episode. That's my thought. That's my headcanon. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Still, this season's lacking on 2 episodes. And I don't feel the acting is as good as it could be. I feel like Katie Sackhoff could be better. I mean, I watched Battlestar Galactica. I don't know if she's not as invested as my impression. Maybe she's not as invested in this character. I don't know. I'm hoping it gets better. Again, I have not been a fan of a lot of Disney Star Wars stuff. But I want to continue to be a fan of Star Wars. I am always a fan of the original stuff. And I love the expanded universe. I love where they took it. And I love the allegiance to the original characters. I dislike what Disney did to the original characters. But there's still something there. Maybe they can salvage it. I don't know. A lot of damage was done by the sequel trilogy. Come on, guys. Let's try to pull something out. Anyway, until next time, questions, comments, witticisms down below. Click all the good buttons on YouTube. Click the likes, click the subscribes, click the shares, and I'll see you next time.